The Jedi Vector's cockpit could light up in the color of a lightsaber blade, but that's just one of its mind-blowing features. Did you know it could only fire its weapons if activated by a Jedi's lightsaber? With technology this specific, how could these ships remain effective against the galaxy's biggest threats? Let's uncover the secrets behind these iconic starfighters. The Jedi Vector. The Jedi Vector stood out as a starfighter that could only have been built during the High Republic. Its design was more than just a technical achievement. It was a physical extension of Jedi principles. Every aspect of the Vector depended on the pilot's ability to use the Force, rendering it inaccessible to anyone outside the Order. Even its weapons required a lightsaber to be placed into a dedicated activation panel where a force field would lock it in place. This wasn't just a safeguard. It ensured that using deadly force was always a deliberate, considered act. The Vector's systems reflected the Jedi's commitment to precision, morality, and restraint. This dedication to principle had clear trade-offs. The Vector lacked deflector shielding and advanced onboard computer systems that most starfighters took for granted. Instead, the Jedi relied on the Force to compensate, using their heightened senses to maneuver and react. The ship's minimalist systems sent raw tactile feedback through the controls, demanding intense focus and skill from the pilot. There was little margin for error, but in the hands of a skilled Jedi, the Vector became a tool of remarkable precision. Techniques like the drift, where Jedi coordinated their vectors into tight formations using the Force, demonstrated the ship's potential for complex, unified maneuvers. The Vector's capabilities were tested during the Great Hyperspace Disaster. When the Legacy Run broke apart in hyperspace, debris threatened entire worlds. 53 Vectors, flying alongside Republic longbeam cruisers from the Emissary-class Third Horizon, launched a coordinated rescue operation. Jedi pilots used their Force abilities to maneuver swiftly and neutralize incoming wreckage, saving countless lives. This mission highlighted the Vector's effectiveness in situations that demanded both precision and teamwork. Yet the ship's reliance on the Force also exposed its main limitation. The Vector could only function as effectively as its pilot's Force focus allowed, a liability when Jedi numbers were stretched thin or their concentration was divided. As the galaxy moved toward greater instability, the needs of the Jedi and their starfighters began to shift. The Delta-7. The Delta-7 Aethersprite class light interceptor marked a new chapter in Jedi Starfighter design. Developed by Quat Systems Engineering, it embodied the Order's peacekeeping ideals through a lightweight, agile frame built for speed and precision instead of overwhelming firepower. The Delta-7 featured stripped-down internal systems, allowing Jedi pilots to use their Force abilities for superior control and maneuverability. It accommodated a single pilot and relied on a hardwired astromech droid for navigation, in-flight repairs, and tactical support. A notable aspect of the Delta-7 was its lack of an internal hyperdrive. Instead, it depended on an external hyperspace transport ring to make jumps across the galaxy, a necessity that added setup time during urgent deployments, especially as the Clone Wars intensified. The ship's light armament and defensive systems limited its effectiveness in large-scale battles against the separatist droid fleets. Yet, in times of peace, the Delta-7's red paint served a practical purpose. It signified the diplomatic immunity of the Jedi, making these starfighters recognizable and respected symbols of the Republic's guardians. The Delta-7's capabilities and vulnerabilities were put to the test during a critical mission in 22 BBY. Obi-Wan Kenobi piloted his interceptor to Kamino, where he uncovered the existence of a secret clone army. The mission quickly turned dangerous when he was forced into a dogfight with Jango Fett above Geonosis. During this pursuit, Obi-Wan relied on ingenuity, at one point jettisoning spare parts to fake his destruction and evade pursuit. As the Jedi found themselves drawn deeper into the escalating conflict, the Delta-7's limitations became more apparent. The demands of war required a starfighter designed not for diplomacy, but for sustained and relentless combat, setting the stage for a dramatic evolution in Jedi Starfighter technology. The Eta-2 Actis. the Eta-2 Actis class interceptor signaled a clear response to the demands of the late Clone Wars. At 5.47 meters in length, it was noticeably smaller than the Delta-7, engineered for maximum agility and combat effectiveness. The Eta-2 Actis lacked a built-in hyperdrive, so it depended on an external hyperspace transport ring for interstellar travel, an arrangement that prioritized speed and maneuverability over long-range independence. Its compact form allowed Jedi pilots to lead fast-paced assaults, reflecting the Order's new role as military commanders. This interceptor's performance stemmed from its lightweight frame and powerful ion engines, which enabled a maximum acceleration of 5,200 G and a top speed of 930 miles per hour. These technical advances made the Eta-2 fastest starfighter in the Jedi arsenal, able to outmaneuver most separatist droid fighters in chaotic dogfights. For armament, the Eta-2 featured 2 laser cannons and 2 ion cannons. The inclusion of ion cannons was significant. They could disable enemy electronics without destroying the target, giving Jedi pilots a non-lethal option that aligned with their preference to minimize unnecessary destruction, even in the midst of war. One of the Actis' most distinctive features was its S-foils, or radiator panels, which opened during intense combat to dissipate excess heat from the engines. This allowed the ship to maintain peak performance during prolonged engagements, a practical adaptation for the extended battles of the era. The Eta-2's silhouette, with its angular design and exposed mechanical elements, projected a more aggressive image than earlier Jedi Starfighters, mirroring the Order's shift away from diplomacy. Despite its advances, the Eta-2 retained some of the vulnerabilities of its predecessors. Its lack of shielding and small size made it susceptible to sustained damage, demanding exceptional skill from its pilot. This fragility echoed the precarious state of the Jedi Order itself during the war. Even after Order 66, the Eta-2's legacy continued. Darth Vader flew a customized black variant, and the ship's presence became a stark reminder of both the Jedi's power and their downfall. Yoda's unique starfighter. Yoda's approach to starfighter design stood apart, shaped by his centuries of experience and his focus on the deeper mysteries of the Force. In the Clone Wars arc Voices, Yoda piloted a modified Eta-2 Actis class interceptor, a vessel tailored specifically for his needs. The cockpit's controls and seating were expanded to suit his small stature, ensuring he could operate the ship comfortably and precisely. These modifications reflected a practical adaptation, allowing Yoda to navigate the galaxy on his own terms. For Yoda, the priorities of a starfighter shifted from combat to exploration. Instead of emphasizing speed and firepower, his ship likely featured enhanced navigation arrays and long-range scanners, supporting his journeys to distant and significant destinations like Dagobah and the Wellspring of Life. These missions were less about battle and more about seeking knowledge and spiritual growth. Accompanying him was R2-D2, whose expertise in navigation, hyperspace calculations, and emergency repairs proved invaluable. With R2-D2's support, Yoda could focus on his objectives, trusting that the technical aspects of travel were in capable hands. This philosophy set Yoda's use of the Eta-2 apart from that of his fellow Jedi. While his interceptor retained the ability to defend itself, Yoda used it as a means to pursue understanding rather than conflict. In Yoda's hands, even a war-ready interceptor became a vessel of discovery, mirroring his belief that knowledge and restraint outweigh brute force. These choices reveal how the evolution of Jedi Starfighters was as much about adapting to new challenges as it was about staying true to the Order's ideals. Across Star Wars history, each Jedi Starfighter marks a distinct era. The Vector for harmony and force connection, the Delta-7 for the Order's early wartime response, the Eta-2 for total conflict, and Yoda's customized ship for wisdom and reflection. These ships do more than serve as vehicles. They reveal how the Jedi's roles and priorities shifted as the galaxy changed around them. As you consider these designs, which starfighter would you choose in your own Jedi trials? Share your thoughts in the comments and let us know which ship best represents the Jedi spirit to you. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and force push the notification button.